Our first enshrinement tonight, unfortunately, is a posthumous one. Demetrious Johnson was born in St. Louis, July 21st of 1961, and passed on Christmas Eve of last year, at age 61. He grew up in the Darst-Webby housing project, was the youngest of 8 children raised by a single parent. He graduated from McKinley High School and earned a full football scholarship to Mizzou. And during those playing days at Mizzou, he was recognized as a premier defensive back, earning all Big 8 honors. He graduated with a degree in education and was drafted by the NFL Detroit Lions. During his pro career, he was the Lions' defensive captain. But in this city, a sports hero can become much more than that when they give back. St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame 2022 inductee Frank Cusimano remembered his friend on a KSDK broadcast soon after Mr. Johnson passed.
Finally, I come to you with a heavy heart tonight. I lost a friend, and St. Louis lost a great man. Former Mizzou football star Demetrious Johnson passed away because of a heart issue on Christmas Eve. I think all of us are in a state of shock still. This was a healthy 61-year-old man. We all thought he was going to make a speedy recovery. In fact, on the day he died, he got out of that hospital bed with his family there, and he gave an eloquent speech of thankfulness to them. His daughter even recorded it. He was the most thankful person I ever knew. I mean this. The day before he passed, with his wife Pat holding the phone in the hospital, he called to thank me for covering his Christmas present giveaway. You know, sometimes men don't express feelings well. I covered almost 100 of his events, and after every one of them, he would call to say, "I love you, big dog, and thanks." But mostly what he was about was helping others. He grew up in the projects and knew what it was like to need help. So he helped. Oh, did he help. Thousands got turkeys on Thanksgiving Day. Hundreds got presents on Christmas Day. This went on for decades. Kids got scholarships from his football combines. He united us at all of his foundations. You'd see rappers, mayors, lawyers, coaches, athletes, black, white, and Asian. I would just shake my head at his golf tourneys, wondering how he knew all of these different people. So I have no idea why God took him early. I do think maybe his heart gave out because he used it too much. And anybody who knew DJ would concur. And I bet when he got to heaven the other day, St. Peter said, "Come on in, and a job well done."
Job well done, Frank. And now joining Frank on stage with remembrances of Demetrious is another of his great media friends, Randy Carricker of 101 ESPN Radio. Frank and Randy.
It was interesting that Tom mentioned that if it wasn't for Ron Jacober that he would be delivering pizza. One of my favorite stories about DJ, we used to do a show on Charter called Chalk Talk. And one morning, right at the beginning of a hockey season, we were recording Chalk Talk on a Monday morning, and DJ says, "Hey, Big Dog, can you get me a pair of tickets for the Blues game on Saturday?" And I was working at a radio station that carried the Blues. I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And later in the week, I got him his tickets. And a couple of weeks later, and I assumed that he was going to take one of his daughters to the hockey game. A couple of weeks later, he says, "Hey, man, can you get me a couple more hockey tickets?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." And I did, delivered them to him. And then about a month later, the Blues are home again, and we're getting ready for Chalk Talk. "Hey, Big Dog, can you get me a pair of tickets for the Blues game on Saturday?" And I said, "Absolutely, no problem. I guess your daughter really is enjoying Blues hockey." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, you get these tickets, I assume you're taking your family." He said, "Oh, no, man. What I do is I give the free tickets to my pizza guy, and I get free pizza from him." So he got free pizza all the time because I provided him with Blues tickets. His pizza guy loved the Blues.
So it's 7:30 a.m., and I'm in my bathroom shaving, and the phone rings. And I see it's DJ's number, 314-568-1204. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. And so I want to start off by pissing him off, so I pick up the phone and I say, Republican National Headquarters. He goes, "You a fool." And then for the next 5 minutes, he lectured me on why Vachon is better than DeSmet, why Magic Johnson will always be better than Larry Bird, and why Drew Lock will never make it as an NFL starting quarterback. And as anybody that knows him will attest, he really got loud. So it's 7:30 in the morning, and my wife is still asleep. And then all of a sudden, he's really going at me hard. She starts to come into the bathroom and opens up the door with these sleepy eyes, and DJ, at the very end of the conversation, says, "Hey, I just want you to know I love you, man, and thanks for everything you do." And then I hang up the phone, and my wife says, "What the hell is that?" So his loyalty was his greatest quality, and there's just no doubt about that. Like, he could yell at me and tell me I'm bad on the air or I'm wrong about something, but if somebody went at me, he wouldn't allow it. And he'd always call and say, "I got you covered, big dog. I got you covered." And that loyalty was really exemplified in his relationship with Gary Pinkel, the outstanding Mizzou football coach. There was an outstanding wide receiver named Rolandus Woodland, who Demetrious said, "Go to Mizzou and we'll take good care of you." He went to Mizzou, and Mizzou really didn't take good care of him, and he really didn't get on the field. So Demetrious, who was really tight with Pinkel at one time, cut him off and would never speak to him again because he wronged Rolandus Woodland. That's what kind of loyal friend Demetrious Johnson was.
And he had so many young players that he impacted. We would do football games, high school football games on Charter, and he was notorious for showing up a minute before the game started. He'd say, "Big boy, who we got tonight?" And so I'd give him cliff notes of who we have and who the important players were. And the game would start, and I'd do a couple of plays, and then he'd be looking down the roster, and inevitably, DJ would know the father of one or two of the players that were playing in the game, and that would become his favorite player and the focal point of the game. And two big phrases that became synonymous with Demetrious Johnson. Number one, the hammer time hit. "Oh, there's a hammer time hit." And then the other one is big-time players making big-time plays in big-time games. How many times did we hear that? And it's so cool for me. We did our last game in 2014, 9 years ago. And I still have young men come up to me and say, "Hey, you did my game at Charter. I was playing at McClure North. I was playing at Hazelwood Central. I was playing at Kirkwood. And you did our game, and I got a hammer time hit from DJ." And so he had that sort of an impact on young people. But he had such a profound impact. And Frank in the piece talked about the turkey giveaways, which I was so honored that he would ask me to be a part of that because he impacted so many people. But Dan Weinstrower, who is in charge of the Painting and Decorating Foundation here in St. Louis, he's in the audience. DJ partnered with him to give young people an opportunity to learn that trade, painting and decorating, get them into the workforce. DJ provided an opportunity for young people to get their GEDs, and after they got their GEDs, he would have a graduation ceremony for them. Frank mentioned in the piece the football combine. HBCU coaches would come. Almost all of the HBCU coaches would come. And my partner in radio, Kerry Davis, is here tonight. He was involved with it. I don't know if Brian Jordan is here, but Brian was involved with this. And countless young people that wouldn't have otherwise had an opportunity to go to college got an opportunity because DJ provided it.
And then my final thought is, I think sometimes you can judge a man by what does he leave behind? And the thing is, with his HBCU, where hundreds of kids come and dozens of colleges come to get scholarships. Well, Demetrious passed away, and Coach Collins back there had it this year, and it was a booming success. Likewise, the situation is going to be very similar with Thanksgiving, with Christmas, with everything he did. Because of his passion for it, it's going to last. We can say after someone passes away, well, it'll be fine, and it's never fine. But with Demetrious, because we all have this love inside for him, these things will last forever. So he's our guy.
Excellent
and
thoughts,
the best
guys.
thing he left behind is his family, his beautiful daughters, his son Jalen, and as they will attest, every time he ever hung up the phone with them, "I love you, I love you." love you.
And to just amplify on that, it was everybody. And when DJ was in the hospital, last words you heard when you left the room were, "I love you." And he wanted to spread love. And I always said at his events, I said, the world needs a lot more Demetrious Johnsons. And especially now, without the Demetrious Johnson, we need a lot of us in the room, all of us in the room, to spread the love that he spread and be Demetrious Johnson.
Excellent. And so now, please welcome to the St. Louis Hall of Fame.
Although he's not here tonight, Demetrious Johnson. You with your applause. Now coming on to the stage to receive a specially created memento of DJ's enshrinement are his children, Taylor Johnson, Ashley Johnson Chin, Alexandria Johnson, Sydney Allen, and Jalen Allen Johnson.
And now here to receive the Hall of Fame plaque is the president of the Demetrious Johnson Foundation, Mr. Jim Collins. Thank you, everybody, and congratulations on DJ's enshrinement.